Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Damore McQueen, and as you already know, this is the place where I try my best to motivate you and to inspire you as much as possible. And today I want to talk about how my views on money has changed since moving here to Canada. So for those of you who do not know, I am an international student studying here in Canada. I came from Jamaica in 2021. So yeah, I've been here studying for 3 years now. And this is how my views on money has changed. So I'm going to share 5 ways in which my views on money has changed. And I do hope that you learn a few things. So firstly, money is not bad. And I would say that this is one of the very first hurdles that I had to overcome, because I think, especially in the coming from a Christian background, oftentimes I feel as though we sometimes demonize money. I don't know if it's because we do not have money necessarily, or have a relationship with money, or a good relationship with money, but I feel as though sometimes we demonize money. So for example, you would often hear the misquote of a specific scripture. So people would often say money is the root of all evil, when really that wasn't what the scripture said. The scripture says that the love of money is the root of all evil. So there's a clear difference there. So in other words, if you put money before God, then that is bad and could lead to destruction. So again, the Bible didn't say money is the root of all evil. The Bible said that the love of money is the root of all evil. So that was one of the very first hurdles that I had to overcome mentally. Just having an appreciation for the fact that money isn't bad. So money isn't bad. Remember that. It depends on how you use it, and it can be a really effective and useful tool. So that was the first thing. Secondly, the idea of saving versus investing. And I know that these are terms that are sometimes used interchangeably, but they're actually very different. So saving is basically putting your money aside. Maybe you put it in a high interest saving account, for example, and it earns a little interest, as compared to investing, where you actually put your money in, say, financial instruments, or you buy into different investment types. So for example, some people might invest in stocks, some people might invest in bonds, index funds, some people might invest in real estate. For example, they buy a property and they rent it out and they gain passive income from that, right? So again, there's a clear distinction, there's a clear difference between saving and investing, and that was one of the other important lessons that I learned. Then thirdly, being a millionaire is not bad. So that was one of the third new realizations. Being a millionaire is not hard. I think I said being a millionaire is not bad, but being a millionaire is not bad either. But being a millionaire isn't hard, right? Earlier I mentioned investing. For many people, for many millionaires, investing was one of those avenues by which they built their wealth. For some people, they might own a number of properties and they gain rental income from that, right? So there are definitely very legitimate ways in which people can build wealth. For some people, some people might start a business, right? And that business becomes successful and they become a millionaire as a result. And let me just plug this in here. And that is why it's important to try a number of things, or to actually act on the many ideas that you might have, because you never know what might be successful. And the sooner you start, it's the more time you have to fail, to learn, and to develop. And that thing that you're sitting on could literally be the next big thing. So yeah, Again, the third lesson, or the third way in which my view on money has changed, is having an appreciation for the fact that being a millionaire is not hard. It might take some time, but it's not necessarily hard. Then my fourth point is that money makes life a little easier. Definitely, and I'm sure that this is something you might have realized as well. Money makes life a little easier. I mean, if you wanted to go get some groceries now, you could just go get your groceries without having to perhaps calculate or think about, how much you're spending, even though it's good to still have a budget and track what you're spending and so on. But it makes life a little bit easier, right? You could get somebody to do different tasks for you. You could just pay someone to do a task for you instead of having to do it yourself, right? So it really does make life a little bit easier. So that's another lesson, and I think it goes back to the first point where I said that money isn't bad. It can be used for good, and it can definitely make life a little easier. Then lastly, you can do more good. And this is an important one for me too. The more money you have is the more good you can do, right? You could literally, form a scholarship fund to help students to go to school, to go to university, right? There are so many people who are struggling, right? There's so much good you can do with money. And again, it goes back to not viewing money as bad, because again, there's so much good you can do with money. So yeah, those are some of the lessons that I've learned. So let me just repeat quickly. Firstly, money is not bad. Secondly, there's a clear distinction between saving and investing. And thirdly, being a millionaire is not hard. It might take some time, but it's not necessarily hard. My fourth point is that money makes life a little easier. And then lastly, you can do more good with money. So yeah, those are the ways in which my views on money has changed or has expanded. And I do hope that you learned something new or something stood out to you. Thank you so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already, then please do so. So please like, share, subscribe, and I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment. Thank you for watching. Do enjoy the rest of your day.